One feature that's really nice to have in kitchens is a place to keep your trash can out of sight. Rather than having an external garbage can sitting in a corner, if you have an open cabinet space that is not really being used very well, you can convert that space into a pull-out drawer to hold a garbage can. It's really a very easy project to do because it only involves building a drawer. In my case, I have a large internal space that's available to not only put a garbage can in, but also a tall drawer for more storage above it. To get started, a few things need to be looked at to make sure the drawer gets built and installed properly. If your cabinet has a face frame on it, you may have to install some filler pieces to create interior left and right supports for the drawer slides to attach to. If you have cabinets like mine, which I built without face frames, the cabinet sides provide the backing for the drawer slides to mount to. So here's what I want to do with my space. The things I need to keep in mind are what kind of space do I need to hold a standard trash can. We're using 13-gallon kitchen garbage bags to go in our trash can. So this size of drawer will give us more than adequate space for the trash can, and we can even slip trash bags behind the plastic garbage can to make it easier to swap in and out after a bag is full. Now I have 18 inches of clear depth to my cabinets and almost 20 inches actually inside, but cabinet support pieces are in the way. So I'm going with a 16-inch deep drawer slide since I have plenty of them in my shop, and I'm thinking 20 inches, 18 inches, and 16 inches, and then it's a week before I actually start building the drawer. So keep all that in mind as I go forward. My typical drawer for cabinets like these is made out of 1/2-inch melamine. I edge band the top edge and finish them out nicely, but the melamine is just a clean surface that's easy to maintain. The filler material under the melamine is particle board, so it's not a high-end drawer, but I actually prefer them because of the way they look. There are no dovetails or fancy joinery going on here, and I have a staple gun that I've had for over 40 years that works great for building these types of simple drawers. For the trash drawer itself, I'm going to use 1/2-inch high-quality plywood to give me more strength than the particle board joints. Since this drawer is going to get the most use of any drawer in the kitchen, the plywood is a good idea. Plus, it takes a finish nicely. I'm rounding over all the edges with a router without regard to anything except making them smooth. I'm adding several coats of Minwax polyacrylic to the sides and bottom to make them very easy to clean with a wet paper towel when needed. I have no sponsorship relationship with Minwax, but just really like this polyacrylic product. Now this is what happens when you get out of practice doing this sort of thing, and I am definitely out of practice. For some reason I decided to build a 20-inch deep drawer rather than an 18-inch deep drawer when I really needed a 16-inch deep drawer to go with my 16-inch drawer slides. And I never stopped to run back through my measurements before I started building. Now that created a bit of a problem for me. Now I'm going to guess that if I were building this for another customer besides myself, I would probably 95% of the time not do what I'm going to do here. I would just build a new drawer. But since this is for my home and I think I can rework it well enough to pass, I'm going to cut the 4 inches off the drawer and make it be 16 inches. It's kind of tricky to do this sort of thing, and I need to be careful. I need to make as clean a cut as possible, and as you can see as I run this through the table saw, you get one chance to make this work. I had to take a Dremel to cut away the sides from my back piece of the drawer that I still want to salvage. I cut the staples that were holding the drawer together, and in the end it actually worked out just fine. The only modification I made to the construction of the drawer from a normal drawer was to make a tall panel on the front of the drawer to attach to the cabinet door, which is now the drawer front. So the cabinet door can be well supported as it's attached to the drawer. And again, when you think about it, this part of the door is going to be tugged on multiple times every day. So the more rigid the connection of the drawer front to the drawer itself, the longer this will hold up. If you do cabinet work very often, and particularly if you have built cabinets as a business, you develop processes for making things like hanging cabinet doors and installing drawer slides easier. I did enough to sort of come up with some ideas, but nothing earth-shattering. I do use heavy-duty double-sided tape to help hold drawer fronts in place while I'm installing them. It's not a perfect solution, but it does help. When it comes to installing drawer slides, the best learning process is just to install a bunch of them. When I have a lot of drawers to install, I get a system going that works for that job. It seems like it changes with every job depending on the construction of the cabinets, so installing drawers is one of my least favorite things to do. It's nice when they're done, but what a pain in the neck otherwise. Now, installing 2 drawers and slides like I'm doing here doesn't give you enough repetition to get any kind of workflow going, so I'm just fighting my way through it and trying not to start throwing things. Now, I was really happy with this top drawer because of its depth and overall size. Can you imagine the junk I can fill this thing with? I told my wife that I was laying claim to this spot when I started installing it, and she didn't object too much, so I think I'm in the clear. So woodworking guys, build your wife a trash drawer. And I'm guessing that you will be a hero for at least the day. Lady woodworkers, take on a project like this and you will gain a lot of creative credibility with the guys in your life. If you have a husband who can't do this kind of thing at all, at least consider letting him have that top drawer. It will make his day.